Good morning. Do you love and accept yourself exactly as you are? Do you love? Do you honor? Do you respect who you are as a human being? Do you acknowledge that you are a spiritual being having a human experience? And do you honor the journey that you're on? Good morning. And welcome to today's video. Today is day 3, yes, day 3 of acceptance. We're on a 7-week program where every week we look at a different step. And this step that we're on is acceptance. Acceptance of who we are so that we can step into that space where we truly love. On a very, very deep level, where we feel it inside of ourselves, not just a mental understanding of, yes, of course I love myself, I'm beautiful, of course I love myself. You know, there's a difference between head understanding of a concept and heart knowing it. Good morning, beautiful Eva. So what we're doing over the next few weeks is we're looking at, or the next few days, we're looking at really beginning to know it on a soul level, on a complete soul level. So what is stopping you? What is stopping you from living in freedom? And what is stopping you from living in freedom is feeling it. Truly having that sense of knowing that you are doing the very best that you know how. And we need to honor you as a spiritual being and the human expression of who you are right now. Today what I'd like us to do is, today I'd like us to look at making a meal. And I'd like us to look at making a meal in terms of an analogy of how we can love ourselves more. Whenever you make a meal, you go to the kitchen, right? So you go to the kitchen and you open up the cupboard and you see, right, well, what ingredients do I have? Then you think, are you the type of person who knows what they want to make first and they go to the shop and they buy ingredients? Or do you go to the kitchen and you open up and you see what's in the kitchen? Should I have that? Should I have that? And you kind of make a meal from that which is in your cupboard. And you put all the ingredients together and then you eat it. And how do you eat this meal? Do you just eat it in front of the TV? Or how is it that you nourish your body and yourself in your life? You see, because what I want us to do today is I want us to look at what are the morals, ethics, and principles of our heart versus the morals, ethics, and principles of our mind. Because when we're making a meal, and that meal is self-love, when we're making a meal of self-love, what ingredients are we putting into this particular meal? Okay, so question number 1 is, when you think of self-love, when you think of loving yourself, when you think of the heart and in the expression of love, because the heart really can either beat at the frequency of love or it's in that chaotic space. So, when you think of loving yourself, what are the morals, ethics, and principles that you live by? So here's your heart, here is love, here is the mind. What are the different principles of the mind that the mind tells you are important when it comes to loving yourself? So when you are wanting to express self-love, what do you do that is in alignment with the head? What do you do that is in alignment with society? What has society told you? What have your parents told you is important when it comes to honoring you, when it comes to valuing you, when it comes to respecting you? And then look at what are the principles of the soul? What are the principles of your true core values, which could be different to the people next to you and around you. So they're not necessarily the same in human expression, but the vibration of those values are the same. The vibration is complete love and oneness. So what are those ethics? What are the values? Should we draw them as circles? What are the ethics? What are the values? What are the principles of self-love for you? Okay. Now look at this idea of, right, what is self-love for me? What is it that I want? What is your future goal? Why is it that you are listening to this video? Why is it that you are listening to the series? What is it? So for me, it's being able to be aware, to reflect, and then to live in freedom. So freedom is my end goal. This is where I'm going. I'm going towards freedom. Now, how do I get there? How do I get there? Well, how I get there is for me looking at what is it that I am doing every day. So if we look at the analogy of a meal, when you are making a meal, what are the ingredients that you're using? The meal is going to be, the end product is going to be freedom. Now, what are the ingredients that I'm using? Am I using criticism and judgment? If I use criticism and judgment, will I be able to get to that end meal? If I'm judging myself and I'm criticizing myself and I'm judging others, so if I look at my cupboard, so the cupboard is a reflection of that which has always been there. So if I take out criticism from the cupboard and put it in the meal, it's something that I've always used, something that I've always done. And a wise man once said, do the same thing, what is this saying? Do the same thing, if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, you can't expect you can't expect a new result. What's it saying? Anyway, you know what I mean, don't you? So if you are using the same ingredients, you can't make a new meal. So if you're not living in freedom, then there's something that's preventing you from living in freedom. So we need to look at maybe buying some new ingredients, maybe looking at what are some new ethics and some new values that can get me there. Okay? So what we want to be doing is we want to be making a meal that is in alignment with the truth of our heart. We want to make a meal that is in alignment with the integrity. We are integrating every day the integrity of our souls. Let me say that again. Every day we are integrating. So every day we are becoming more aware of who we truly are and integrating it into the flow of who we are. We're integrating the core values that we can live in the integrity of our soul. So what are the ethics that are important to you? How can you put something into a meal if you don't know what's available? So if you haven't gone to the shop and you haven't seen what new products there are, if you haven't gone to the shop and seen what might inspire you, how can you make a meal that is new if you keep on going back to your cupboard? You see, what we do in life is that we like stability. So we like making the same meals because there's comfort in it. We like doing the same things because there's comfort in it. But if we want to live a new life, a free life, where we live in that space of loving ourselves, it's important that what we do is start reflecting and integrating, because every day, every experience is an opportunity for us to look at where we're not loving ourselves, yes? So my question is, when you look at your ingredients, do you look at an ingredient and you say, oh, That's great. That's really going to be nourishing to my body. I deserve it. Or do you look at an ingredient and think, oh, that's so expensive, I can't afford it? You see, every ingredient that you put into your meal, into your future, every single ingredient has a belief system attached to it. So what is your attachment to healthy food? What is your attachment to gluten, to carbohydrates, to sweets, to chocolates? We have attached meaning to absolutely everything in our lives. And we have attached meaning to the concept of self-love. How we express it, what we do with it, how we be with it. So today I'd like you to start thinking about and start becoming aware of what are the belief systems that you hold that are not true to you, that are from society. And what are the values, ethics that are true to the core value of your heart? So when you're making a meal, are we going into the cupboard? Or another analogy could be, or are we going into the garbage bin? Do we go to the garbage bin and take out ingredients from the garbage bin to make a fresh meal? Ingredients that are old, ingredients that have expired, ingredients that are no longer good for us. Of course not. We throw them away. We let them go. What ingredients do you need to let go of today? When we let go, we create a space for something new. So the meal that you're making today is living in freedom. And one of those steps is to love yourself more. So how is it? What can you do today? What steps can you take? What ingredients can you put into your body? Yes, food, but also thoughts. What thoughts are you putting into your body? Thoughts of criticism or thoughts of love? Thoughts of respect? Thoughts of honor? When people say something to you, are you giving your power over to them? Or are you standing in the integrity of your values? Because to truly love yourself means to stand in the integrity of your values. To honor yourself means to stand in the integrity of these core values that are in alignment with your truth, not anyone else's, but your truth. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Albert Einstein. Thanks very much. Thanks, Eva. So we're not going to do the same thing over and over again. We are going to be creating something new every day. We're going to be creating a new meal. So today, what are you choosing to put into your energy plate? What meal are you, what concoction are you putting into your energy today? So in summary, what have we said today? Today what we've said is that in order to love yourself, in order to step into a space where you are living in freedom and loving yourself all the time, and really knowing it versus understanding it in the head, we need to let go, we need to become aware of belief systems we have around self-love, let go of the old belief systems that are not in alignment with the core values of who we are. And importantly, what we do is we integrate this every day. Every day. This is why you're with me now for the rest of your life. This is a journey. We're journeying together because every day we learn one core value. We don't wake up one day and all of a sudden we're in alignment and we love ourselves. I'm sorry, but that's not how the human experience works. The human experience works by being open and saying, you know what, I am courageously willing and committed to open up to learning the lessons that I need to learn each day so that I can live in the integrity of my core values. Your focus is how can I love, honor, and accept myself this week? And today your focus is how can I become more aware of the values, ethics, and principles that are within me, that honor me, that are of love. And then be in that, stand in that. Because when you give your power over, you're not standing in that. So I wish you a wonderful day of focusing and living in that space of opening to freedom. I wish you a wonderful day of loving yourself and beginning to feel the difference between loving yourself that comes from the head, the judgment, the right, the wrong, versus a day where really feeling and knowing that you are beautiful and you are amazing. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be really, really powerful, as is always. But definitely tune in tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning, French time. I think it's CET time. And yeah, we will see you soon. Lots of love to you. Bye.